But this is about the time of day where we're going to kick off in 4 weeks. So it was good to get out there. About 55 plays for the 1s and 2s. So we've got a lot of reps. And update, Reggie Hemphill practiced. He was good to go. Jason Hall got dinged up after about, I think, maybe 20, 30 plays, something like that. So they took him in. Neck, head, something that they haven't examined him enough to say whether it's a concussion or not. But other than that, I think everybody came out healthy.
It was a hit. Jason
Question.
Hall, did he hit somebody?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. He likes to hit people.
Yes, he does. Did it look serious? Or
I didn't even see it. I mean, I saw it.
Yeah.
It didn't. So no, I guess not, because it didn't register with me.
Who else stood out? Anybody brag on?
No. You can ask me whatever Monday after I watched the film of it.
Not to get trapped into a quantifiable question, but
How much?
well, no, just how far along are you on install and seeing it out there?
Pretty far in terms of our base offense and defense, and base meaning third down as well. We don't have a huge red zone package in yet, but we needed a little bit just so we could function in the scrimmage. And then, don't have 2 minute. There's a few kind of special situations that we don't have in just yet, but probably over 3/4 of what we're going to do is being run out there. Runned? That's not a word. Ran.
At coaching school, Tim said that Shane had gotten to the point where he could sort of almost teach the offense back to him. Do you both feel like Shane and Sam have a really good grasp?
Yeah, and that's
everything?
The goal is, any kid you can ask any kid that's in a classroom or a teaching environment, you got that? Yes, sir. And I mean, not very many kids say, no, I don't have that. So we make a big deal about, teaching the teacher in our program, and you got to know it so well that you can teach it back to the teacher. So I think Shane and Sam both have that in the classroom. I think Shane can transfer it to the field a little bit better right now. Sam he gets it right in the classroom, but when 11 guys are flying around, it's a little bit too much hit or miss right now. But both of them definitely in the classroom understand and grasp the offense.
How are their legs?
Oh, after today, not great. But the good thing is, we didn't practice on Sundays in the past anyways, but now that tomorrow's a mandated off day, we'll get guys in cryo chambers. We'll get them in the saltwater float tanks. We've got masseuses and massage therapists coming in to get all that done. So it'll be a big recovery day for us tomorrow. So Monday, hopefully, we'll be in a lot better shape than we are right now.
Coach, I've been gone all week, and
hey!
Good to see you, sir.
Great to see you too.
A source told me guys are playing with practicing with the championship caliber. Do I have a bad source, or are these guys practicing with the purpose and the championship standard you'd like to see in the first week?
Don't ever change, bro. I love you. That's so cool.
I love you too.
Yeah, I don't know about championship. I think we're getting there. I think it's probably premature to use that word in anything we do right now, but I think we definitely understand the value of hard work and hard practice and full speed and emptying your tank, and we're doing that for the most part, and the guys that aren't are getting exposed too. And the cool thing is it's transitioning from a coach-fed program to a player-led program, and we're not there yet, but more and more guys are, if a coach has his back turned or a coach, we don't miss very much, but if we miss something that's not the way we do things around here, a lot of the guys will pick up on it and call the offender out on their own, which is what you want.
Coach, I know before you had talked about wanting to groom Stan Drayton into being a head coach one day. That's why you gave him that title. What are his responsibilities, like during your practice settings, kind of the week? Like, what kind of things are you asking him to do that maybe like a little bit extra?
Well, I think a couple of things. One, he's in most of the meetings with me and Coach McKnight when we're talking about, you know, motivation and culture, and you know, which we have those every couple days about, you know, where's the team, what do we need, what's next, and so practice plans. He's involved in all those meetings, and probably the biggest thing is if something needs to be done and I'm not there, you know, he's able to kind of run the meeting or run the staff. So, for instance, we had our coaches retreat Thursday and Friday of 2 weeks ago, I guess, or last week, whatever, 10 days ago, and we had a big time recruit show up on campus, and so I had to leave, but I didn't, you know, we had 20 guys on our staff, and we had a very regimented itinerary that we needed to stick to in order to get done what we needed to get done. And so I just said, hey, you know, Stan's in charge, I got to run for a couple hours, go see the recruit, and so I think that's all of those things, you know, that probably as just an assistant coach without that title, you don't get exposed to as much.
So if you were hit by a bus, he would be in charge?
Yes. Yep.
Coach, you talked about the player-led and starting to call each other out. Connor Williams seems kind of quiet-spoken. Who are the guys on this team that aren't afraid to call other guys out when they're not?
He's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is great. He wasn't in January and February, but he is now. I think Andrew Beck on that side of the ball is probably the other one, and Patrick Vahe. On defense, got a few, and Nashawn and PJ Locke and Deshaun Elliott are kind of emerging as kind of the three. And Malik does a good job with that too.
What does allow a guy like Jaquan Graham to come in and be on that second defensive line already?
Well, he comes from a great high school program, you know, and so when you're trained the way that he's trained, you're physically and mentally able to adapt. Certainly, you know, when you're 18 going against 22-year-old men, it's still, there's a growth and development, you know, that you can't make up, but at least he's as developed as you can be for an 18-year-old. And you know, just the biggest thing is just, can you physically survive in there from a size and strength standpoint? And so he's one of those true freshmen that, you know, God's blessed him, and with some really advanced physical tools for a guy his age, and then he was developed really well in high school.
Considering he was coming off an injury his senior year, has he kind of surprised you with his play so far? Did he show things here that he didn't show on film in Temple?
No, he's doing what I think we all expected him to.
Tom, you talked about how Shane has become sort of a more vocal leader over the last few months. Was that apparent today, him being more forceful?
Oh yeah, I heard him scream, which was really cool. So in enjoyment and in disapproval, you know, and you know, hearing his voice is really cool. And I think, you know, even the players, you know, kind of told him too, hey, your voice is really powerful, and you know, it can have a dramatic effect on, you know, the way that we respond, whether it's to success or to failure. You know, what you say and how you say it, you know, has an effect. And so I think he's taken that to heart and done a really good job of not, and it's not forced either. You know, he's just expressing what he was feeling inside, where before I think he kind of kept it all to himself.
Feeling that you sort of have to pry it out of him less now?
Oh yeah.
Has someone pulled him aside and said, hey dude, you threw for 3,000 yards last year at the University of Texas. I mean, you can be a potential great one if you keep going.
2,958.
Right, exactly.
But
rewrote the freshman record book. I mean,
I know.
Yeah, but
Tim Beck.
Yeah.
I think those are a big part of his early meetings. Like, you've already got the pelts on the wall. You've earned their respect. Yeah, you didn't win as many games as you would have liked, but you played hurt, you know, and you played tough, and you played through a lot of stuff. And there's not a guy on this team that doesn't respect you.
Coach, every time we talk to some of your leaders, they all say you want them to be vocal. So whether it's PJ, Deshaun, Colin, you go down the list. Why is that so important to you?
The vocalness of a leader. Well, first, you got to do, right? You know, we talk all the time that the people that you're leading as a leader, they hear your words, they see your actions, and they feel your intentions. And so you got to have the first two, or the second two in order first. They got to see your actions and feel your intentions. And then lastly, I think probably the biggest thing about being vocal is that it unites or unifies the entire team, where I think when you're not vocal, you wind up having these little cliques that kind of go over here and either blame somebody else or you know, complain about things, and then you got cliques over here and cliques over there. Or maybe it's good things too, but they're still, hey, you're my guy, so we're gonna go celebrate together or whatever. Where I think when you're hearing all these voices from different people on different sides of the ball, different positions, then it fosters a much more team atmosphere.
So you like that more than the lead by example type of leader per se?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, there's not a leader, a true leader that's never been exemplary. So that's a given. If you're given the word leader, by default you have to lead by example, and the being vocal is the next step. So the lead by example guys, the guys that keep their mouth shut but work hard. Yeah, I'd rather it that way than the other way, than the alternative. But I think for you to take the next step as a leader, you have to be heard.
Time for two last ones. Runs from Shane or whoever.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
5, 10, or just some to keep them honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, a lot of the rushing yards from our previous quarterbacks in this system were on scrambles. So designed runs probably won't be a whole lot more or a whole lot less than what we have had in the past. Maybe a little bit, not because of ability, but more so the depth issue at that position. But the beauty of running your quarterback is, again, you're equating numbers in the run game, where instead of handing it off to somebody and not blocking, playing 9 on 11, you're at least playing 10 on 11.
Last one. You said Reggie returned today after the migraines and everything. Is that anything that you or the team or him is going to be concerned about going forward? Or is that
I don't know. Yeah, I think we're going to continue to monitor him, as the trainers have told me that it is unusual for a 19-year-old kid to experience his first migraine ever, but it's not unheard of either. So we'll monitor it and see if they come back, but I think we're pretty much out of the woods as of now, and then at least we know, again, if he gets a pretty sharp headache, he won't be as nervous about it, and we'll be able to treat it a little bit better.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Thanks.
See you guys.